Monica Smithwick, Debbie Diaz, Deidre Adams, Elizabeth Kovacs, Heidi Hall, Shirley Pridgeon. And then from Prosperity Bank, please join me in welcoming Joseph Gonzalez. So let's go ahead and get started with the panel. The first question is, what did you do after graduation to make your career possible? So Heidi, do you want to take that one?
Absolutely. Well, first, I went through college thinking I was going to go to law school. And I am a marketing communications manager at a captive commercial finance company, which means I did not go to law school and I did not become a lawyer because as I continued on my journey, I found that actually I was ready to get out into the world. And I think that there's a lot of pressure to know exactly what you're going to do for your entire 40-year career. And the reality is what fills your soul and what makes you happy changes as you grow and you are exposed to new things. And, how you spend your day is how you spend your life. So it's really about finding a career that fulfills you and not focusing so much on titles. So yes, I did go to college, and then I graduated not knowing what I wanted to do because I wasn't going to law school. And I started madly applying to jobs in my skill set, which was at the time accounting. And that was really just an opportunity, some time to work in an office and figure out what I liked, what I didn't like, and then start going down a path. And that's actually what led me to politics, which led me to communications, which has been the bulk of my career. Thank you.
Oh, were you done? Anything else to add?
I was just going to add that eventually I did find it useful to get a master's degree. I did get an MBA. Where I really wanted to increase my business acumen because my undergraduate degree wasn't in business. But that was 20 years after graduating from undergraduate. And again, I think there's a lot of pressure today to know exactly what you're going to do and go to college and then go to graduate school and then go out into the world and be a VP in 2 years. And that's, I think there's more discovery that can happen in your career.
I love that answer. Heidi, it sounds like we have some things in common. I was also a business and marketing major. So I probably picked you for that question for a reason there.
Absolutely.
Okay. The second question we have here is, how do you make financially smart decisions as a young adult? So Monica, would you like to take that one?
Sure, absolutely. I will say from personal experience, as a young adult, I did not make financially smart and responsible decisions, and I paid for it. I think as young people, especially out of high school, there's a lot of credit card companies that want your business. And of course, it's that whole, well, I need credit to get credit, but how do I get credit if I don't have credit? And then you have these kind of sharks in the water. What I would tell like my younger self and share with you is be mindful of what you're spending and how fast you're spending it, especially if you have a job and you have money in your bank account. It's real easy to go out and party with your friends or go spend it on, frivolous things, and that's okay to do. But just keep in mind what you're spending and how fast you're spending, because the fees that come up with an overdrawn bank account, the interest that you get if your credit card is not paid on time, all of those things will follow you into adulthood. And then you end up kicking yourself saying, why didn't I listen, or why didn't I pay this off, or why didn't I do that? So budgeting is good. It's not easy. I like to spend, I like to shop. So it's certainly not easy to do, but it is helpful, and it helps you get on the right path to saving, and then to maybe have some extra money just in case of an emergency. Things that, you think about as a young person, oh, it'll never happen to me. And then what if you need new tires on your car? What if your brakes go out? Or what if, some crazy thing happened and you have to help your parents or something like that? Wouldn't it be nice to have a little bit of a cushion in your bank account to be able to do those things? Money's stressful, and it can be a stress for your entire life. So just my best advice is be mindful what you spend and how fast you spend it.
Definitely some great advice. Thank you, Monica. Our next question here is, what are the best tips to save money while you're in school? Deidre, would you like to jump in there?
Sure. I think pretty much the comments that Monica just mentioned, those are a lot of the tips that you would need to save money while you're in school. You want to definitely have a budget and stay within the budget. I mean, it's fun to have fun, but just make sure you have a budget and some set goals. If you want to save money for tuition, for different things you want to do while you're in school, like weekend activities, you want to save your money for that. And don't just think that you have to live for today and just, use your credit cards and stuff, but be mindful, because the actions you take today will be, certainly there'll be repercussions down the road for those.
Great advice. Thanks, Deidre. This next one, I love this question. So get to hear from one from each company. So Joseph, how did you end up working for Prosperity Bank?
It's very strange in that I got this job because of somebody I knew. In our professional capacities, we all develop networks of people that we've worked with throughout our careers. I've been doing this type of work for 25 years, met a lot of people, did a lot of work with them. And so there's a number of people that I could call at some point in time and say, hey, I'm looking for a job. How could I fit in with your company? What do you have available? And they didn't have a job available when I first started working here. So I kind of came in as a contractor. So I was self-employed doing some work. Somebody left and they asked if I would join the company, and kind of tailored the new job that they created around my skill set. So you don't always answer a one ad or submit resumes to every company that you see out there on the internet. Sometimes you have to kind of make your own job, and you do that through people that you know. And sometimes it's a matter of networking. So all of you have networks. You might not know it, but all the people that you communicate with on your different social medias, those are people that know somebody who knows somebody else. And so you have to use those contacts in order to find something for yourself sometimes. That's how I did my job here.
Good for you, Joseph. Networking is definitely super important. And then for Prosperity, see, I don't think we've heard from Elizabeth yet. Oh, sorry, for Toyota, Elizabeth. Same question. How did you end up working there?
Oh gosh, it was kind of similar. I mean, my first career was in the airline industry, and that was like my whole thing I wanted to do and travel the world. And I actually had a family member that had friends that worked for Toyota, and so it was just submitting an application and going through the interview process. So I found it very fortunate, because it was at that time when we were in California, it was really challenging to get a job with Toyota. So once I got it, I was just like, this is the best thing in the world. So yeah, but it did help. It did help to have someone inside the company to actually speak highly of me. So thank you.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations. That's
you.
awesome. Really important to like where you work. So
Love it.
that is great. Okay, our next question here. What other educational options are there that can lead to a successful career? Anyone in particular want to jump in and take that one?
Can I take that?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to say that if you don't know, and it's often as youth, you may not know what you want to do, but you can certainly join a company, and they often have educational options where they will pay for your education, and you can at least get an associate degree while you're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and there's also different avenues. It's a trade school. That's what I first started in when I got out of high school, because I really wanted to work for the airlines, and I did really well with that. But there's definitely different avenues if as Deidre mentioned. So, but that is another option.
Definitely. So there's many options. It's a great thing.
Yes.
All righty. Next question for our panelists here. What is the best advice you can give someone who does not know what career they want to go in? Does that speak to any of the panelists in particular?
The key thing, I think, is do not stress about it. Everyone says that life is not a rush to get to the end. Let your experiences guide you. There's no winner for getting through college in the full 4 years. If it takes 5 years, let yourself get those experiences. If you have to change majors, don't let someone say, well, you chose this. move to different majors if you find that what you're originally looking at isn't what you like. Above all, be happy with each choice that you make so that you're not tying yourself to something you don't enjoy. And that's the most important part, is you have to enjoy what you do as you grow up, basically.
Exactly. So important. It all goes back to enjoying what you do and loving where you work. So another great answer there. Does anyone else have any advice that you'd like to give for someone who doesn't necessarily know what career they want to go in?
I want to
Heidi-
just add, I would
Oh, go ahead.
just that you don't want to just necessarily think of as career as something you want to check off. You want to ask yourself truly, what do you want to accomplish in life? And that'll kind of guide you as well.
And it's important you like what you do. So I do agree with Deidre and with Adrian that sometimes you don't know what that might be in the beginning. So, you might have to try different avenues before you finally say, okay, yeah, you know what, this is something I think I'm going to enjoy, in my career and in my life. Because it's hard to get into something if you don't like it.
And I would add that you should focus on your skills. What do you like? What are the skills that you enjoy doing, right? Like if you enjoy being creative, there's a lot of ways to apply creativity. If you enjoy public speaking, there's a lot of ways you can become a trainer. Actually, you can join marketing communications. There's a lot of public speaking. There's a lot of ways if you focus on the skills and what you like doing, not necessarily like I want to be a collector or I want to be a marketer or I want to be a trainer, but I want to influence people. I want to support people. Then you find careers that allow you to serve that purpose and exercise the skills that you really enjoy exercising.
Yeah, that's a great point, Heidi. I think each and every one of us has some sort of special skill that we can utilize in whatever job function that we do take, and work from there. So that's spot on.
Definitely true. Thanks everyone for sharing. All righty, I think we have time for one more question. What misconceptions are there around making your career possible? And Monica, I don't think we've heard from you in a little bit.
So I think some misconceptions are that you have to do it in a particular time frame, right? So there's this tradition that happens as you're growing up. I know it certainly happened in my household growing up. It's you go to school, you graduate high school, you go to college, you find a job, and then you progress with the rest of your life, whether that's marriage and kids or it's not, but there's nothing that says that has to be your timeline. It certainly wasn't for me, right? I graduated high school. School was the last thing I wanted to do. So I was working 2 jobs, was, having fun with my friends. And then I decided it was time to get a big kid job. And that's how I landed working at Toyota. But that was on my own time. And I think a lot of the major misconception, in my opinion, for especially young people that are junior and senior in high school, that you have to know what your timeline looks like today. That you don't. A million things can happen tomorrow that are going to change the trajectory of your life. So just know that at your own time, at your own pace, on your own path, things will happen for you. You do not have to sit there and say, if I don't do this right after graduation, my life is over. That is certainly not the case.
Love that.
I'd also like to add a little bit about that misconception,
Sure.
really having to do with moving your way up in a company. That used to be the way things were. My father-in-law stayed at the same company for 40 years and didn't move up very far, whereas I've had to move from one bank to another to really within a 20-year period get to the place that I wanted to be. But you can't be afraid to try new challenges, and really what this summit is speaking to is being bold. You have to be able to leave where you're comfortable, try something new, find the company that does what you want to do, and don't be afraid to move there. You've probably learned a lot from your other jobs. Your educational background is going to be of value to somebody. So don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and go to someplace new.
Joseph, I'm glad you jumped in there. I was going to pick on you since you were at the top of my screen, but it's like you read my mind. Okay, everyone. Well, thank you again for joining. Let's all give a round of applause using the clap reaction on your Zoom screen to our incredible panelists. So thank you so much to the panelists. We appreciate y'all coming out today and sharing your stories and experiences with us. Now we are going to break you all out into different rooms. And when we send you into the breakout rooms, please click the join room button. In the breakout rooms, you can unmute yourselves and have your cameras on to interact with the volunteers. Just a reminder, when the session is over, you will also see a 60-second reminder, but please do not exit the room. We will bring you right back once you're done. Okay, everyone, enjoy interacting with the volunteers in the breakout rooms. See you soon.
If you learned anything, I want to know your thoughts about this session. So why don't you write us in the chat what you thought, what you learned today. Just any feedback would be great. I'd love to read those in a minute. And then lastly, for those of you who came in just now or a little bit later, we do have our post-session survey. For those of you who want to win a $25 Visa gift card, please fill out the post-session survey. Again, we want to hear your feedback. So I'm going to give everybody a minute to fill that out, and I will have the link in the chat box below as well. So you guys should all enter right now and go do the survey. Also, so once you finish the post and pre-session survey, we will be contacting your teachers tomorrow about the winners. So again, if you guys didn't hear me earlier, there will be 2 winners today. So please finish those up and we will contact your teachers tomorrow about who won. So while you're finishing that up, we do have social media platforms everywhere. So you could find us at JA Dallas or Junior Achievement of Dallas. So please follow us for more incredible JA opportunities and events if you're interested. And if you guys enjoyed this session, we have 6 more coming up. So every single Tuesday from 4 to 5 p.m., we have a different session hosted by different sponsors covering different topics. So as you can see, next week, we'll be talking about money. The week afterwards, we're going to be talking about Like a Girl Boss, life skills. And if you guys attend 5 out of the 7 sessions or 5 to 7 sessions, you will be invited to our Bold Spring Tea. So that will be held in April. And that's another amazing opportunity for you guys, for the students, to meet these volunteers in person, have discussions in person, ask questions. So I highly recommend you all, if you haven't registered for the rest of the sessions, to go and do that today. And we will also have the link in the chat box below in case you guys didn't see it. So that is it for now. I'm going to give everybody a minute of a break, and then we will do our Q&A afterwards. So if you guys want to go stretch, you have 1 minute to do so, and then we'll come back and we'll do our optional 30-minute Q&A. Perfect. Nikki, are you ready to start our 30-minute Q&A?
Yes, awesome. Perfect. So hi, everybody. My name is Nikki West. I am a Senior Development Manager at Junior Achievement, and I am working on this Bold Summit along with my awesome colleagues and the awesome volunteers from Toyota Industries Commercial Finance and Prosperity Bank. I just want to give another big shout out and thank you to all of our Bold sponsors for helping make this program possible. So quickly to go over some of the incentives. So all students that complete at least 5 of the 7 Bold sessions, so that's, attending the entire session and participating. So completing the pre and post survey will be eligible for bigger giveaways such as jewelry, gift cards, AirPod technology, and also you get invited to our exclusive April Bold Tea. This will be held on April 3rd at the Tower Club. So it's going to be a traditional high tea where you get to dress up, like white gloves, fancy hats if you want to. And we will have some of our volunteers, our sponsor companies, volunteer mentors attending as well. So it's a phenomenal opportunity for students to get to talk, in person and also experience a wonderful event. So I'm getting some questions. And again, please put any questions you have in the chat box below, and we will continue to ask them as they come in. So I am going to, again, so I'm going to ask questions. Any of the Toyota or Prosperity volunteers who are still on, please feel free to speak up. So first question, what would you have done differently in your career path if you could go back in time when you were 17?
You know, we talked a little bit about this in our breakout session, and I volunteered that, and I don't couch anything as a mistake. And I wouldn't have done, I mean, yes, there's the, oh, why did I do that? Or what if I had done this? But every decision led me to be the person that I am today and have the career that I have today. And there's no such thing as a mistake. There may be things that you learn more from than you do others. But honestly, I'm extremely fortunate to work for Toyota Industries Commercial Finance. I work with an amazing group of colleagues, and I get to go to work every day and I do what I love. And it affords me the opportunity to create projects that maybe are outside of my scope. Yes, I do marketing, but I'm in the process of developing a crosstalk program, and I'm in the process of developing an associate experience campaign internally. And those were projects that I put forward and got leadership buy-in on. So frankly, I wouldn't have done anything differently.
Awesome. That's a wonderful answer. Anybody else want to touch on that? Anything you would have done differently?
Can I jump in,
Mhm.
Nikki? So I would agree with Heidi. I think I wouldn't change anything. I would add something though. What I would add is I think I would be more present in the moments of being, you know, in those times of being a teenager. I am the eldest in the family, and I grew up, you know, quicker than I wanted to, or the expectations. I think I would have really been more present instead of thinking about what I really want to accomplish and achieve. You know, live as a teenager, live your life, and, you know, enjoy it. There will be a lot of things that you're going to deal with when you get to the workplace, but have fun and enjoy. I would have had more fun and enjoyed myself. And not that I regret not having fun back then, but I'm learning how to do that more often now.
Awesome. Thank you. So what advice would you give your 16-year-old self? Monica, can you take that question?
What would I tell my 16-year-old self? Stop spending money.
Mhm.
No, honestly, I think that if you don't have money to spend, then you want money so that you can go and do all of these things. But like I was saying earlier, just watch what you spend and how fast you spend it, because you could get in some serious trouble. Also, what I would tell myself is kind of along the lines of what Tanya was saying, to be present. A lot of things happened in between my junior and senior year and right after senior year in high school. And I was going through them so fast that I think I missed half of what was happening just because I was so anxious to get to the next thing. You know, and you probably hear things like that from your grandparents or your parents or older siblings or older cousins. And here we are saying something similar. Time goes by really fast. And as you get older, it goes by even faster. So if you have the opportunity, just literally stop and smell the roses. If you're on a walk and there's flowers and you stop and you smell them, just little things like that. I think I would appreciate how I got here more if I would have paid attention to what was happening then. And at 16, I just wasn't.
Exactly. Okay, I think we're going to probably ask one more question. It seems like a lot of students have dropped off. I know for some schools, they get out around 4:30 or 5. I want to ask one question to all of the volunteers and panelists who are still on, and you have about 10 seconds to answer. It's going to kind of be a speed round, and I'm going to call on you. So you have a little bit of time to think. I'll give you guys about 10, 15 seconds. But if you could give yourself one piece of advice going into life after graduation. So basically one sentence of advice for life after graduation. what would it be? I'm going to start with Heidi.
uh, that's it's hard because I'm first, but I'm going to go with what I put in the chat box, kind of riffing off of what Tanya said and Monica said, and that is the days are long, but the years are short. So pack those days full, enjoy every moment of them, and be present. I'm going to steal Tanya's.
Monica?
For me, it's take care of you. Whatever that looks like, whether it's mental health, physical health, taking a personal TV timeout, whatever that is, take care of you.
Awesome. Rudy?
My advice would be to tackle life as a marathon for yourself, not as a race with others, because once you graduate, it's all about you and you know, what your race is going to be. And your best competitor is always going to be yourself. And you try to compete against others, you know, they're just on different career paths, different education paths. You know, focus on what's going to get you to that next phase that you want to get to.
Deidre?
I would say don't beat yourself up. Do some introspection daily and keep living life. Learn from your mistakes.
Elizabeth?
I think everybody said something fabulous. I would say just, go at your own pace. Don't be in a rush. And as Rudy said, it's not about competing against the person next door or in their classroom. It's what you want to do for yourself and where do you see yourself? Because life is long, and I will say if you get an opportunity to enjoy it, but don't think about others and what they're doing. Focus on yourself.
Tanya, do you want to say something?
So it says, I have one quote. You also have to know what sparks the light in you so that you in your own way can illuminate the world.
Oh, that's nice.
Oprah Winfrey.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Awesome. So we're going to wrap this up. Thank you so much to all of our volunteers and our students who have attended today. Again, thank you to Toyota Industries Commercial Finance and Prosperity Bank. We are so grateful for your continued support of JA and the Bold Girls Summit. So everybody, please remember, yes, round of applause for everybody. Everybody has been so awesome. If you guys are here, please do the applause reaction on your Zoom. That would be great. Thank you guys. So just a reminder, if you are a student, please complete the post-event survey. It is in the chat link. Again, that puts you into the drawing for the Visa gift card. So again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at JA. I will put our email in the chat really quickly. Awesome, everyone. Thank you so much again, and have a great night.